Welcome everyone. The first thing I want to do is I want to give myself some additional real estate. And the way to do that is I'm going to get rid of this table of contents panel and the gallery of visualizations panel. If you remember from our first video, you can do that over here using these icons. So I'm going to go click on here, remove that panel, and click here. So now I've got a lot more workspace to work with. We're going to create a sales report by region. So the first thing we want to do is we want to bring region into our report, into our workspace, so that you can start seeing data. And you can do that in one of three ways. The first way would be to left click and hold your mouse button and drag it up into the rows and drop it. And that gives us, notice it's in the rows drop zone, and it was placed onto the workspace in the appropriate location. The next way to do it, and I'm going to go ahead and remove region, and so I'm going to left click and hold and drag region off of the workspace. The next thing I can do is I can left click and hold region and drag it onto the workspace. And again, just like the other method where I drug it into the work zone, the drop zone, it showed up on the report and up in the drop zone itself. Now this way I can also, I'm going to drag region off of the report because I want to show you that you can take things on and off from both locations, both from the drop zones and the workspace. So I'm just going to go ahead and drag region off of the workspace. The third way to do it is to go ahead and double click on region. Left double click on region. Notice that it put it into the workspace. One thing I want to show you quickly is this undo button. If I come up here to undo, that does the same thing. So you can undo your previous action, and I don't know how many undos you get, so that'll be in a future. Hopefully I can let you know in the future. So I'm going to go ahead and put region back onto, I double clicked on it and put region back. Next thing I want to do is I want to add sales. So I'm just going to go ahead and double click on sales, and notice it came into the workspace. Additionally, it came into the metrics area. And notice that the word metrics names showed up in the columns, and that will be used when we get to pivoting, which will be another video. So I want to add an additional metric to my report. So I'm going to go ahead and double click on profit, and that added it into the report. Notice that profit showed up underneath the metrics in the drop zones, and it showed up in to the right of sales in the workspace. So the orientation is top to bottom is equated to left to right. So I'm going to go ahead and remove profit, and again I'm just going to go and drag profit off of the report. And I'm going to use the drop zones instead of double clicking or dropping it in. I'm going to drag profit onto my report. And as you can see, the blue line shows where it will be placed. So if I drop it here, it'll be placed to the right of sales. And if I put it here, if the blue line's there, it'll be to the right of sales. Attributes work exactly the same way. The biggest one that I want to show, and I'll go ahead and drop it and show you that it works. And I'm going to go ahead and remove it. The last thing is when you're placing it into the metrics area or the attributes area. So I'm going to take profit, and again, I'm going to go up here and notice that when I'm there, there's a small blue line that's underneath the word sales. Remember, everything was top to bottom is equating to left to right. So if I drop it here, it'll be below sales, so it will be to the right of sales on the report. Now I'll go ahead and drop it. So it's below and it's to the right. I'm going to pull it off again. This time I'm going to pull it on, and I'm going to notice that there's a blue line above sales. That's exactly where it will go. So if it's above sales, it'll show up to the left in the workspace. There you go. The last one is I want to supplement this region information. And just to let you know, the blue line is works in attributes as well. So if the blue line shows up below a region, if you're pulling another attribute on, and the blue line is below region, it'll show up to the right. If the blue line is above region, it'll show up to the left. But one of the cool things is I've got a report now, sales report by region, sales and profit. But I don't really want region. What I really wanted was segment. So I want to replace region with segment. Now I could drag region off and then replace it with segment, but there's a faster way. So if I just take segment and I left click and hold, and I drag that over top. Now notice that region is completely surrounded by that blue line, and I'm going to go ahead and drop it. And in my report, segment has replaced region. So that's a really quick way if you've got a report and you want to kind of get to a different orientation of your report, or different perspective, that's a very quick way of doing it. So that's your first sales report. Hopefully you found this useful.